You were building beer. Yeah. And so we fixed that. And so anyway, yeah. And when Matt mentioned college,
They're not.
Just one. That's amazing.
Right. They didn't put any money in it. Nobody put
There's
money
somebody.
in it. Oh, yeah.
I guess that's what
You read the Harbor Lake.
Oh, well, yeah, like you're like.
That's a long time.
Harbor Lake's not very
Now how do I mute?
Yeah.
No, you.
Good old days. Good old days.
I can take that, I'm sorry. The success. Oh, right.
Saved you guys a lot of grief.
Like this flavor. I care about people.
First thing I was working around.
Yeah.
Yes.
It is.
But that's where well, I did Well, it's just funny, the more long they ran our back, they ran our We don't, but they've never done. So we just don't. Oh, yeah, I heard about that.
No, they made it, they like it.
Oh, yeah.
You didn't get to see Tom?
All the way to the,
Oh, you did get to see. I just saw you.
I didn't meet him. He said, look, just did. I took him and Steve. Out the cottage. Yeah, I took him.
They don't
Run the day off.
run and eat it.
Oh, did you? Where did you? It's just that all different. I'm only gonna stick by the lower down there. Hearing on. And he's
Well, sometimes they force you to
No.
All right, everyone, 7 o'clock. I'd like to call this meeting to order. Could all rise for the pledge, please.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call, please.
Al Dega.
Here.
John Leo.
Here.
Nancy Rondell. John Cups. Matt McGarrett.
Here.
We do have a quorum.
Excellent. Thank you. Forum, I guess it's citizens' comment time. If you've got anything that's not on the agenda, this is your opportunity. We do have a 3-minute time limit. Mr. Potter.
Should take under 3 minutes.
Getting good at it.
Andy Potter, 815 Ottawa. In November 2021, the taxpayers of Harbor Springs said no to the egregious money grab of the city council recommended 20-year Headley override ballot initiative. This past August, the taxpayers of Harbor Springs said no again to your second attempt at a property tax money grab using the Headley override ballot initiative. This November 8th, you come at the taxpayers a third time with yet even another ballot initiative cloaked as a police and fire millage. Make no doubt about it, the Harbor Springs taxpayer already knows this is nothing more than a bait and switch Headley Amendment override. As community leaders, not a single city council member has asked the simple question of what is actually needed by our police and fire department that is already graciously provided. The city attorney, nor the city manager, not even the fire chief, John Cups, sitting right over there, has mentioned or even whispered the fact that the fire department is not a fire department, but a fire authority entity that is funded by multiple governmental entities and is not funded solely by the Harbor Springs taxpayer. Today, Fire Chief John Cups has not asked the other participating fire authority entities via their quarter fire authority meetings for additional funding. To date, the city council has ignored not only the struggles of your Harbor Springs taxpayer, you have all ignored your neighbors, your friends, property owners, business owners, and entire groups whose only wish is to keep Harbor Springs. They once knew the same. You set policies and make rules for taxpayers to follow, but then openly and arrogantly ignore them. I ask myself, how many people actually know that you, Mayor Matt McGarrett, and your wife Jane regularly use the barricaded and closed off city boardwalk when me and my family would face being arrested for criminal trespass if caught using the closed city boardwalk? Your policy of rules for thee and not for me must stop.
As a rule against personal taxation. Anyone else for citizen comment? Carol?
Carol Winard at 141 Snyder Street. I would just like to encourage every voter in the city to attend the city council candidate forum. I believe it's October 10th, so that we can hear clearly what each candidate's priorities are, as well as all of their backgrounds and information on each of them.
Anyone else for citizens comment?
Linda Rockwitz, 519 East 3rd Street. May I ask a couple questions, Mr. Mayor?
Sure can.
First, if Andrew Potter is suing the city for improper, for being let go improperly, at the same time that he's running for mayor, isn't that a conflict of interest? And what would happen if he was elected? Thank you for listening.
Would you like an answer?
I thought you, whenever you choose to give it to me.
I'll defer to the city attorney.
I would say that Mr. Potter is free to run for the office. Obviously, he could not participate in any discussions or closed sessions dealing with the lawsuit. He would be precluded from participation in that regard. But he's not precluded from running.
Very good. Thank you. Best we can do. Anyone else for citizens comment? No? Anyone on the computer this evening?
No hands are raised.
Yes, we can move right into the consent agenda. There's any issues at the table.
No, I didn't see any issues. I'd make a motion that we approve.
I'll second that.
Nancy Rondell,
Yes.
Matt Guerra,
Yes.
John Leo,
Yes.
Al Dika.
Yes.
John Cops.
Yes.
Motion carried.
Very much. And to our discussion items, I guess Margot will try and kick this one off for us.
Yeah, I'll just start with, we are having a hearing on the downtown development, public hearing on the downtown development plan, and the TIF plan is proposed to run through 2038. This is amendment to our original one we passed in 2015 with a tax base of starting at 2014. We put originally resolutions and ordinance to be approved at this meeting, but we will hold that off until the October 17th meeting, and we'll hold a public hearing now. What we need from council is to open a motion to open a public hearing. Then I imagine Director DeMoose will give her presentation, and then you can open it up to the public for comment, and then close public hearing, and then council can discuss the issues or what you heard at the table.
I'll make a motion that we open the public hearing.
Okay. Nancy Rondell,
Yes.
John Cops.
Yes.
John Leo,
Yes.
Matt Guerra,
Yes.
Al Dika.
Yes.
Motion carried.
Great, thank you. Thank you, Mr. Mayor and City Council. I'm here to just present to you the amendment to both the downtown development plan and the amendment, the second amendment to the TIF plan. So we can just start. Like to go. Originally, the Harbor Springs Downtown Development Authority was created in 2012 by the ordinance number 180 of the Harbor Springs City Council in conjunction as adopted through Public Act 197. And then as it became Public Act 57 in 2018. The Harbor Springs DDA developed a taxable increment financing plan in 2015, based with the base year of 2014, which ran through 2017. And then the TIF was then amended again in 2018 through 2022. And so I'm here for a second amendment tonight to talk to you about some of the things that have been completed in the last 5 years and where we're looking over the next several years in the DDA. So purpose of the Downtown Development Authority and Principal Shopping District is to analyze the impact of economic changes and growth in the defined downtown district in the city of Harbor Springs, and to develop plans in coordination with the City Council and Planning Commission. We seek to address problems of economic decline, strengthen existing areas, and encourage new private developments in the downtown district of our community. And we seek to accomplish this goal by providing the community with necessary legal, monetary, and organizational tools to revitalize the downtown district, either through public initiated project undertakings or in concert with privately motivated development projects. Our boundaries, as you can see, have not changed since the DDA was established. And so we're going to look at a few things as being the past accomplishments of the downtown, the process that we've gone through to develop the new development plan, the proposed amendment, and the process that we've gone through in amending this. So currently the Harbor Springs DDA projected revenue is $45,900. That comes from special assessment. We currently capture $91,826 and 46 cents expected for 2022. Our taxing authorities include Harbor Springs City, North Central Michigan College, and Lakeview Cemetery. The current amended plan and the amended plan in 2018 did include the county TIF capture, which would be projected at $50,552. We also have an event income from our Ice Fest, annual Ice Fest of approximately around $5,000. So some of the highlights of what has been accomplished in the past 5 years through 2018 and 2022, the wayfinding was finished in 2022. We do yearly updates to the downtown kiosks. We have worked to help raise funds for the Marina Park for picnic tables and waterfront beautification, and then just ongoing work with the parks in the Marina Park. We worked on Marina Park in the with the development of that becoming a more recreational, useful space. And we also started a study on parking, which was put on hold. And then we were able in the past 5 years to take the vacant lot that was owned by Harbor Springs on 3rd Street and develop that as a parking lot, a public parking lot with 20 to 25 spaces. We are in the process, as you know, of working on the Merchants Walkway and improving that, and landscaping and repairing and improving the area that had become very deteriorated. We were able to implement holiday lighting on 3rd Street and additional trees throughout the downtown. And then in the spring of 2022, we replaced all of the globes and lighting in the downtown street lighting to make them more energy efficient and improved aesthetics so that they were all uniform in their look. So the DDA continues also to provide services for the city as a liaison between the businesses and the city staff and the other boards and commissions, as well as just working at coming up with new projects and other areas that we deem would be beneficial to the downtown. We've also created in that time period an annual winter ice festival, the Ice Fest, which has been a really big off-season draw, which draws a lot of business to the downtown. We are working also at some downtown enhancement grant programs, especially for some back alley renovation, which we're hoping to correspond with the Merchants Walkway. And then the DDA at that point had also looked at snow removal for the downtown, and that's been put on hold as of right now. So those are the things that we've accomplished in the last 5 years. And some of the projects, you can see some promotion that we've been able to do, and getting out a lot of marketing and promotion and social media for the downtown businesses as well. So what are our goals and strategy now as we go forward? The DDA has worked hard to develop some specific goals and strategies, and those are to maintain and build on the historic vitality of the downtown and waterfront, to create a vibrant downtown to promote existing businesses and encourage new business development, to continue to develop streetscape initiatives throughout the downtown, to develop programming that balances retail and gathering spaces, to collaborate and provide guidance to downtown activities such as festivals and gatherings. We often promote things like street music and other events that are happening downtown through the chamber, and continue to maintain DDA projects and services within the central business district. How did we begin this process? We began this process in the spring, late winter of 2022 to start looking at extending and amending the current TIF and development plan that ran through 2022. We initiated the process and we solicited input through meetings of stakeholders as well as digital survey. We worked on committee work to develop and prioritize programs and projects, and then we began to draft the amended development and TIF plans. So the survey went out through the community, through Facebook, through e-newsletter, and through our website, and it was open from mid-May till June. Coming from that survey, we got a lot of feedback and key issues, and some were for and some were against on each of these issues, but there was the seating and benches were addressed, bike racks, a need for trees, more differing opinions on trees and gardens for the downtown, along with different business enhancements, and then parking, both for and against came up in the survey. So again, as you see in the amendment plans, the boundaries remain unchanged. And as we look at the development plan, there's 3 areas that we are going to focus on, and that is improvements, programs, and services. So in the development plan, we'll start at improvements. What we want to look at are actual infrastructure improvements that the DDA would like to work on. And that is infrastructure programs that might include streetscapes, sidewalks. We've budgeted this year for now into the new plan to have a fund for sidewalks within the central business district, lighting, recreation in the parks to facilitate with games and activities, and then also facilities. We have had a lot of feedback as far as possible need for public restrooms, additional public restrooms downtown. So that's also on our radar. And then, of course, repairing and replacing picnic tables and benches, working on the Main Street gardens, which we hope to expand to a larger streetscape project, and then other downtown enhancements such as seating, bike racks, fire pits, planters, and other amenities, and continue to collaborate on the Little Traverse Wheelway project. As far as the programs go for the downtown development plan, we are looking at continuing our annual Ice Fest. We are looking to expand into other festivals such as a Brew Fest or even other festivals that have been brought to our attention. We are looking to expand our grant program to assist businesses, whether in their facilities or even in their services that they're able to offer. We're also looking to establish programs to enhance any other programs to enhance and improve the downtown. And services, we are looking at promoting and marketing the central business district and all of its businesses. There has been talk of creating a walking tour, a historical walking tour through the downtown, and also continuing with wayfinding maintenance, as well as providing, this year we provided a public restroom map and wanting to develop and liaison between some of the existing organizations like NLEA as far as business development resources for businesses, the downtown, and the residents. So those are the key points of the development plan. You can see we did a cost estimate of most of those plans projected out the 15 years from 2023 to 2038. When you see some of the numbers and you see something like $45,000, again, it's over 15 years. So sometimes that's only going to be $3,000 annually. So all of that I think you have received or will be receiving the actual TIF plan, amended TIF plan and amended development plan. So the cost estimates. So what does that bring us to? The DDA proposes to implement development projects related to streetscape, sidewalks, street lightings, merchants walkway, and other downtown enhancements for an estimated cost of up to $1,377,500 over the next 15 years. Other non-developmental projects in this plan are estimated at $415,000 over 15 years for a total implementation cost for the plan of $1,792,500. Which leads us into the amended tax increment financing plan. So for some background, a taxable increment financing plan provides for the capture of increased incremental taxes. The TIF capture would be derived from this Harbor Springs City, Emmett County, North Central Michigan College, and Lakeview, cemetery taxes. So for an example, if you have a base year of a taxable value of $30 million, and then it rises the next year to $31 million, you have a captured taxable value of $1 million. If you multiply that by the tax rate, for instance, 5 mils, the tax increment revenue would be $5,000. And so as you'll see, this is an amendment to the current tax increment financing plan. It is amendment number 2. It was an amendment to the plan that was established by Harbor Springs City Council ordinance number 395, and with the base year of 2014. Is extending the TIF plan from 2014 through December 31st, 2038. There's been one amendment currently that has already happened through this plan in 2018. So you can see through the model of tax increment financing, there is no increase of taxes to the property owners within the CBD. It is simply a reallocation of revenue to the Harbor Springs DDA from the taxing authorities. It is that portion of that tax increment financing that would then be taxed, and that revenue would go to focus to the DDA. Why? Because we feel that with a strong downtown, you have a strong city and you have a strong county as well, and outsiding areas. So in other words, the Downtown Development Authority ensures that increases in downtown tax revenue stay focused sharply on the incredibly important downtown district, which we all know is the draw to this area. And in doing so, creating and maintaining a healthy and vital downtown benefits the city and all of the surrounding area. Currently, our 2022 projection is our initial taxable value in 2014 was $31,795,595. We have increased to $42,218,696. It projects us for tax increment revenues of $142,378.50. This includes the county TIF capture of $50,552. I don't know if you can all see that. You can see through this that from 2018 to 2022, I would say you can see a couple of years where it didn't double, but we are on track to come close to doubling the TIF for each year. And just as things have stayed stable, we project that that income will continue to increase. And you can see that on the chart as well. It's where we have increased over the last 5 years. Our current TIF allocation is projected, looks like this. These are the millage rates that are for each area of Emmett County, the city of Harbor Springs, the cemetery operating, as well as the North Central Michigan College operating, and as well as their extra voted millage. This is the projected allocation. Again, as I said, it's we went through that at the next slide. As you can see, this is a breakdown of how much of the revenue that the DDA gets and how it is divided between the taxing authorities. So then, in our process, again, as I just review that, we went through started holding meetings in May and June, revised the plan, began working on the plan, and then we had our approval of the plan. There have been some amendments, so we are going to go back amending to that in language, and we're going to get approval at our next DDA meeting and come back to council with that. And then, of course, our public hearing tonight. And then hopefully it will be adopted and approved in October of 2022. Some of the questions that we've been asked are, it's proposed for 15 years through 2038. As I researched, this is very actually on the low end of most of the surrounding areas. Most of the surrounding areas around us, Traverse City, Charlevoix, St. Ignace, Elk Rapids, Sheboygan, Wayne City is also 15 years, but all of the others are at least 20 years, running from 20 to 30 years. So after talking to Michigan Downtown Associations, 15 years is very much on the low end for an extension of a TIF plan. We would also be coming back to City Council every year and, to approve the budget and continually working in collaboration with City Council to accomplish these projects on the development plan.
Thank you, Mark. Right there, if you want to open it up to the public for comment.
Okay. Do we have anyone who has public comment on our TIF plan or our DDA TIF plan? Silent.
I'll start. Wendy Reed, 334 State Street, 332 State Street, 120 East Main Street, and 188 East Main Street. At $2 a day, that's $8 a day for 4 businesses that you want for the next 15 years. So my criticisms of this are, you allowed the Merchants Walkway in May to be torn up. Then you met with a landscape designer in August to redesign it. You tore it up with no plan as to what you were going to do with it. What was the hurry? We left it in a deplorable, unsafe condition for the entirety of our season for no reason at all. Number 2, adjacent property owners, some of them have needed access to that space, were never notified. Apparently nothing was done in terms of a title search to ensure that you had the right to do the demo or the reconstruction. And most of you, well, a lot of people here would remember, but at least 25 years ago, Rad McCready's dad lived above his business and parked a car every single day on that walkway. So there has to be something there for him to have owned it to do that. You wish to extend your funding from all of us in the downtown district for another 15 years, and in reading through your plans, I can't stop 15 years worth of work. I can't think of any reason why we would give you the right to tax us for 15 years when you have no plans for the money. We should be respecting our pocketbooks more than that. In regards to the competitive bidding process and politically favored contractors, you've not been putting projects out for bids. Your concrete work, your landscape work, and your landscape architect are all one person. You should correct that immediately. And I'm especially critical that you take funds from my business to create signage directing business to Uptown, where the merchants there enjoy not giving you any funds. In other words, I paid for the signage that you created directing business to carry blank at Trey Bell. That was poorly thought out.
Anyone else? Okay.
I'm reading a statement on behalf of Margie Smith, who could not be here tonight. I am against the DDA 15-year plan, against the Merchants Walkway to be used for a gathering area. I want to preserve a natural botanical walkway. I would also like to state for the record that the DDA did not attempt to contact me before demolishing the fountain and brick area, which is on my property line. Margie Smith, 141 East Main Street.
Thank you. Anyone else?
There's no other comment, we can close the public hearing.
Anyone on?
Did not see a hand raised.
Guess we'll close the public hearing on the TIF program.
I have a motion to close it.
I'll make the motion to close it.
I'll second that. Nancy Rondell,
Yes.
Al Dyke,
Yes.
John Leo. Yes. John Cops.
Matt Woodyer.
Yes. Motion carried.
What's your name? All right. Oh, we can talk about it. I've reviewed it. It looks normal. I didn't see anything that jumped out at me.
The plan itself makes sense to me. I sit in on the meetings. I think it's a very hardworking group of people, business owners, and concerned with the improvement, as Margot said, the improvement of the downtown area, the attraction of tourists, and there is no finite definition over 15 years because it's a plan. It's an evolving thing that will be reviewed and expanded and changed as the situation warrants. So I think it's a well thought out plan with people who want to do the best for the city.
I agree, this is nothing that's cast in stone. It's a plan, it's a tool for us to use at the table to plan future spending and respond to the community when they complain about something we've done or for us to do something more. So I think that it's a good presentation and it makes sense.
And it comes back to council every year, the budget does for it, correct, Michael? I mean, it's like we've been saying, it's not something we start now and they just go with it. So I think there's a lot of oversight on a yearly basis for it. I think it's okay.
So the last couple of years, they've been pretty active on the projects.
You've gotten some stuff.
So, good group of people.
Well, there's been visible results in town, like you said, the street lighting, the park. Things haven't gone perfectly, but there's certainly, well, none of us are perfect, at least in my experience. So moving forward.
We're getting better. Flowers.
Yes, we
Yeah, so then we will come back, I think, on October 17th with resolution and ordinances to pass. So,
Spend it.
Yeah.
Excellent.
Thanks for the hard work, Margot.
Thank you.
We will move on to item D here. This is a request to plant a hedgerow in front of a property in the street right away at 821 Ottawa Street. We've had this come up, I don't know if it was about a year ago or so, in a different location in town. Basically, the city code doesn't really permit the city manager to approve or not approve hedges. We allow, the city manager can approve tree plantings, but there's more wording in the city code that says hedges are a little bit different. So for example, if the police chief looks at hedges and determines it could be a safety or convenience concern for the public, then he has a right to have them removed. However, I had Chief Knight as well as DPW Director Lucas Banerjee go check out the hedgerow, and I checked it out myself, or the proposed location for the hedges. This is one house away from a dead end on Ottawa Street, and I think, Chief Knight, if you want to correct me, but I think that's one of the reasons why you saw no concern with the hedges being located the way they're going to be located.
Correct.
Yeah. And there's no utility interference with utility infrastructure. And so I couldn't approve it on my own, but I'm bringing it to council. Staff doesn't have any objections on this one. I think the applicant, I don't know if you're here. Yep, Andre is here. Yep, he's here. And I don't know if you want to speak to it while you're putting it in, but I think it's to just do some screening of part of your yard. Yeah, and he did remove a dying tree that was on city property. The city couldn't get to it sooner, so he had his expense. He did remove a tree that was dying. So we are not. He wants to add more vegetation as well. So.
I just have a question. I did look at it. And there's like an electric box or something there. Am I right? Okay, I thought I was looking at it the right way. I just can't remember, what happens if the hedge dies?
It's up to him to maintain it. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, if we can go at any time to, it's on our property if we feel like we need to remove it,
Right.
clear up that area. But it's on them, with our street tree plan application, I think it's about a year, 2 year, or maybe 3 year now.
Maybe 3 years, so it
Warranty,
would
yeah.
basically be the same as a tree going in.
Yes. Yeah.
Expect the same, yeah.
If he's willing to put in the hedge, he's probably willing.
Yeah. I went up and looked at it because I, in my head, didn't know what it was, so. I don't think it's certainly not gonna have a problem with people backing in the driveways or anything.
Yeah, in this case, there's 6 arborvitaes is what they're proposing to put in. And, normally our street tree planting guidelines say, each tree should be spaced 15 to 25 feet depending on the species. And obviously arborvitae are kind of used and designed as hedges. And we do have wording in our subdivision, part of our code that states that when people are subdividing their properties, hedges are not something that we approve, but that's a separate section that when it comes, that's related to zoning. This is not something we outright don't allow, but it's not something we outright allow, so.
I don't think
I drove by,
Yeah.
looks fine.
It's great.
It'll be nice addition. We need a motion.
Yeah, I don't know if you want to open it up to any public comment from anyone that's here for that.
Anyone have any public comment on the hedge? Mr. Potter?
Andy Potter, 815 Ottawa. I believe I'm his neighbor and I have no objections to the hedge being placed there.
So. Anyone else?
You need a motion to approve?
Yeah.
I move to approve.
1 second.
Matt Bulgara,
Yeah.
John Cops,
Yes.
Nancy Rondell,
Yes.
Al Baker,
Yes.
John Leo.
Yes.
Motion carried.
Good.
We have no boards and commissions, so really quickly, city manager's report. The sidewalk replacement project is still going on State Street, on the east side of State Street between Snyder and Lake. From what I'm hearing from MDOT, the M119 will be closed through October as they work on a plan to get the washout area fixed. That's between Harris. So it'll be closed between State and Sargent, I believe. The fall.
Now it's in.
Yeah, now it's in, okay, yeah. Fall brush and leaf cleanup begins on October 3rd, so that's today. Fall Fest was on Saturday. We had a lot of people turn out, a lot of families. It was a really great event. We had a lot of volunteers, put a lot of effort into it. Parks Department and the Parks Board put a lot of effort into it. And I think out of city general fund, we only spent $150 from general fund expenditures. Most of it was donated from the various businesses and et cetera. So I think that was pretty good. We finally replaced our chiller at City Hall. It took a little longer than expected. There were some electrical issues, but we finally have air conditioning working now that it's cold. We are also working on a couple other electric projects. Attorney Jim Raymer here has diligently been working on, or had worked on easements for our M119 Phase 3 and Phase 4 project. We are having a meeting here for those property owners on October 13th. I believe at 5:30 or 6 p.m. I don't remember the time exactly, but that's to discuss the project. We are seeking easements for them. We talked about this several months ago. As a state, MDOT required us to shift we couldn't do any work on the south side of M119, so they require us to shift our line to the north side if we want to upgrade that line. So that's what this project, how that was born. We do have a tree planting event. As you remember, if you may recall, DTE Foundation donated 20 trees to the city. So on October 8th, this Saturday at 11 a.m., we are planting trees here near Gene Derding Park, the Deer Park, and at City Hall, at DPW facility. Any volunteers would be appreciated. You can sign up, email me, or we have some advertisements out there. It's on our website. You can sign up with Relief. It's gonna be a fun event. And let's see, we had the Planning Commission did have a special meeting a couple weeks ago. They approved a scoring system, or recommended to move to council a scoring system for short-term rentals and limiting short-term rentals to 40 in the residential districts. That'll be coming to council at one of our upcoming meetings as we work with zoning and Jim Renner here to get the ordinance language shipped up. So it's going to be another discussion that we'll have. We've been at short-term rentals for a few years now. We've amended the ordinance a few times, and there is a bill that's going through the Michigan Senate, and they're meeting in mid-October to discuss that. So I don't know which way that's going to go. I still think that we should continue acting independently until we have any news from the state. And that's really all I have. I do have an MMEA conference later this week. That'll be down in Battle Creek for. That's all I got.
On the fall leaf pickup.
Yeah.
Might want to push that back, starting in a week later. Or going forward. Because there's no leaves coming down. At this time. That's a good point. Yeah. With our new fall weather. So.
That's a good idea.
Yeah, next year, and extend it till the snow flies, maybe. Any new or old business?
I have none.
Okay. There's nothing else. This meeting's adjourned. Thank you all for coming.